Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Today we're diving deep into what might be one of the most humbling moments for the Cleveland Browns in recent memory. And believe me, when I say recent memory, I mean it's been quite a ride over the past few seasons. But this loss, this performance against the Baltimore Ravens, has sent shockwaves through the fanbase and certainly raised some serious questions about where this team is heading. We're talking about a game that was more than just a defeat. It was a statement game, a wake-up call that perhaps the Browns are not quite where they want to be, especially when it comes to competing at the highest level in the AFC North. Myles Garrett, one of the team's most prominent leaders and a force on the defensive line, didn't hold back after the game. And honestly, his words were candid, raw, and frankly, a little embarrassing for the team and the fanbase. Garrett described the loss as embarrassing, and when a player of his caliber speaks like that, you know the team feels it too. For those of you who follow the Browns closely, you know how vital Garrett is, not just as a pass rusher, but as a leader in the locker room, the guy who sets the tone for the entire defense. And for him to come out and call this performance embarrassing, that's a clear sign that the team, especially on defense, has some serious soul-searching to do. Now, if we rewind a little, what exactly happened in this matchup? Well, the Browns traveled to Baltimore on September 14, 2025, a game that many of us had circled on the calendar, not just because of the rivalry, but also because of the significance of the game in the context of the division. The Ravens, a team known for their physical style of play and dynamic offense, seemed to have their way with Cleveland. And I mean, they dominated from start to finish. The Browns' defense, which has been a source of pride and a cornerstone of their identity in recent seasons, was overwhelmed. Myles Garrett, despite his relentless effort, couldn't do it alone. The Ravens' offensive line was solid, and their running game, led by none other than Derrick Henry, was practically unstoppable. Garrett himself was quick to point out that taking down Derrick Henry shouldn't be hard, and yet the defense struggled tremendously to contain him. The offense, meanwhile, didn't fare much better. Joe Flacco, making a rare start, was under constant pressure. It was a tough homecoming for him, especially with the fans in Baltimore making their presence felt. Flacco, a veteran with a storied career, was trying to find rhythm, but the Ravens' defense was relentless, constantly pressuring him and limiting the Browns' offensive options. The result? A blowout. The kind of game that leaves you questioning what went wrong and how the Browns can bounce back from such a humiliating defeat. But beyond just the game itself, what really struck a chord was the timing and the context. This game coincided with the 30th anniversary of the infamous Art Model move, when the Browns left Cleveland for Baltimore. That's a wound still fresh for many fans, and seeing the Browns suffer such a blowout in Baltimore on such a significant anniversary only added fuel to the fire. It's almost poetic in a tragic way, how history seems to be repeating itself in some aspects. The Ravens, who are technically the team that Cleveland's franchise once was, are now dominant in this rivalry, and the Browns are trying desperately to find their footing again. Now let's talk a bit about the players and what this means for their season. Myles Garrett, as I mentioned, is not just any player, he's a cornerstone of this franchise. When he speaks about feeling embarrassed, it's a wake-up call for everyone. It's a reminder that talent alone isn't enough. Effort, discipline, and execution are what separate good teams from great ones. Garrett's leadership is vital, and his words might serve as a rallying cry for the defense to step up in the coming weeks. But it's not just Garrett. The entire team needs to reflect on what went wrong and come back stronger. The offense, with Joe Flacco at the helm, also has a lot to prove. Flacco's experience is undeniable, but he needs better protection and more support from his teammates. Cleveland's offensive line has been somewhat inconsistent, and against a fierce Ravens pass rush, they were simply overwhelmed. Running backs and receivers need to do their part, and the coaching staff has to find ways to adapt quickly. The season is still young, but performances like this can be a wake-up call, a moment that either galvanizes a team or exposes its weaknesses. Looking ahead, the Browns face a tough schedule. They need to learn from this blowout, analyze what went wrong, and make the necessary adjustments. The AFC North is no joke. It's arguably the most competitive division in football. The Ravens, with their balanced attack and physical style, are clearly one of the top contenders. But the Browns have the talent and the potential. They just need to harness it, build resilience, and show that they can bounce back from adversity. One thing that's worth noting is the depth of this team. Cleveland has some promising young players, and the veterans like Garrett and Flacco can be instrumental in guiding the team through these rough patches. The coaching staff, led by their head coach, needs to tighten the ship and prepare the team mentally and tactically for the challenges ahead. It's about turning this embarrassment into motivation, a lesson learned that could serve as a turning point. And speaking of the division, the AFC North is shaping up to be a battleground this year. The Ravens are showing why they're considered one of the favorites, especially with their dominant defense and powerful running game. The Bengals, who have been improving steadily, are also in the mix. For the Browns, it's a clear message: no more excuses, no more falling short. If they want to reclaim their spot at the top, they need to respond with action, with grit, and with a renewed focus on every detail. Beyond the game itself, there's an emotional layer here, especially given the historical context. Cleveland fans have endured a lot over the years, from heartbreaks and missed opportunities to the pain of losing their team to Baltimore. Now, with the Browns trying to re-establish themselves as a powerhouse, setbacks like this are tough to swallow. But remember, every great team faces adversity, and it's how they respond that defines their legacy. The Browns have some key players who can be difference makers moving forward. Garrett, obviously, will continue to be a dominant force. Flacco's veteran presence can help stabilize the offense, especially in tough moments like these. The coaching staff will need to analyze this game thoroughly, focus on fixing the issues in pass protection, run defense, and overall execution. It's about learning from the pain, correcting the mistakes, and coming back even stronger. In terms of season expectations, Cleveland fans are hungry for a playoff run, maybe even more. The roster has talent, and there's a sense of optimism that this team can be a contender. But games like this, where everything seems to fall apart, highlight how much work still needs to be done. It's about resilience, mental toughness, and the ability to turn setbacks into comebacks. That's what separates the good from the great in the NFL, and the Browns will need to demonstrate that in the weeks to come. And let's not forget the fans. Cleveland faithful are some of the most passionate in the league, and they've been through a lot. They want to see their team fight back, show character, and restore pride. This game, as humiliating as it was, can serve as a rallying point. The team needs to learn from it, grow stronger, and come out swinging in their next game. The season is still long, and there's plenty of football left to play. This is just the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter that can still be written with resilience and determination. Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to emphasize that the NFL is unpredictable, and that's what makes it so exciting. One game doesn't define a season, and setbacks like this can be the catalyst for a team's resurgence. Cleveland has the talent, the leadership, and the fan support to come back from this. It's about how they respond, how they learn, and how they execute moving forward. The Browns are a proud franchise with a rich history, and if there's one thing we know about them, it's that they never back down. So, Browns fans, keep your heads up. Stay loyal, stay passionate, and keep believing in this team. The journey isn't over, and the best is yet to come. We'll see how they respond in the upcoming games, and I promise, I'll be here to keep you updated every step of the way. This loss might sting today, but it's also an opportunity for growth, for redemption, and for proving that the Cleveland Browns are still a force to be reckoned with in the AFC North and beyond. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. Do you believe this team can bounce back and turn this embarrassing performance into a stepping stone? Or are there deeper concerns that need immediate addressing? Whatever your thoughts, we're all in this together, and your voice is important. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. The season is still young, and the journey is far from over. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, keep the faith, Browns fans. We're in this together, and I believe we'll see brighter days ahead.